Hello everybody, it's Katie here from Bullet and Stickers. Welcome to my channel. So in today's video, what we are doing is setting up September in my bullet journal. So you may have seen the bullet journal fully beginning part setup in my previous video. If you haven't, I'll link it up in the cards and you can go check that out. But today we're specifically setting up for September. Now, in all fairness, there's not a lot of things that I need to track at the beginning of the month for this bullet journal. It's mainly going to be a lot of daily pages is what I'm envisioning for this journal. So all I'm really doing is drawing out a calendar, smudging slightly a little bit of some writing, and setting up trackers for both my sleep and my weights. Now, it does set it up for a daily weight, and I appreciate that that's not how we're supposed to do it. But for me, I just like seeing the lines moving and changing, and depending on how I'm feeling and how those symptoms of how I feel compared to how the scales look. However, I completely understand if this is something that is not what you want to watch. I have put the chapters in the video, so if you just want to skip and just watch the beginning part of my calendar and my sleep tracker, then by all means please feel free just to watch that little bit and skip the weight tracker part. So without further ado, let's get on to the flat lay. Here is my bullet journal from Archer and Olive from the summer 2023 subscription box. I'm also using a pencil from a previous subscription box and my rainbow of Staedtler fine liners. Because it's September, I'm using the pink along with the Archer and Olive ruler just to draw out my calendar for September. So I'm using a font that I use a lot actually. It's kind of like a squished sans serif, so all of the kind of the segments, like the middle E bar and the P and the R, they are skewed towards the bottom, and I really like this font. It's very simple, but it's also very elegant. I think how it gives me 1920s kind of vibes. So here I am drawing out the calendar layout, and each of the boxes are 6 squares by 6 squares of the dot grid. So 3 centimetres by 3 centimetres, apart from the first 3 days. When I was sketching this out, I was trying to work out where the layout was, and I actually added an extra row on the bottom, which I didn't need, and then realised I needed to kind of move everything up, and so I did do a move up line, which you might be able to see underneath the September header, and then forgot to do that for the first 3 days. So the first 3 days are actually 5 squares high rather than the 6, but the rest of the days are all 6 by 6 squares. I'm struggling here a little bit to draw those lines, so I do grab my memory planner actually, which is my Harriet Wright Designs B6 gridded notebook, which if you saw my memory plan with me, which was just recently published, that shouldn't be too unfamiliar. So yeah, so this calendar is basically going to be like my game plan for the routines that I want to start building into my day. So for example, daily cleaning, an exercise workout that I want to do, any special events that are happening, of course, so I can send a message to people on their birthdays, on anniversaries. We've got a couple this month. We've got a few birthdays happening towards the beginning of the month, and then also at the end. There's a couple of anniversaries, including my mother and father-in-law's. So lots of different things that I need to just keep a track of in terms of special events. But I also want to keep this a place where I can track all of the different cheat sheets, essentially, from the beginning part of my journal. So, like I said, my workouts, etc. So there's lots of space here for me to be able to do that. I am using a candy pink dot pen. This is the Zig Clean Colour dot pen for the days of the week. So just putting a dot for each day of the week, and then I go in with a V5 Pilot high tech point. I don't know, these ink gels, they're really good. I like writing with them, but they've got a very fine tip which made them perfect for adding all the dates into my calendar. So September's quite going to end on quite a nice note with full 4 weeks of Monday to Friday for my school week in September. That first week being mostly inset days. I have put a to-do list down the side. I'm not sure. This will also help with the kind of more biannual, quarterly kind of tasks that need to happen within the house and things as well. So I'm going to keep a track of all of that in there. Then we're on to our second spread, which is the last spread of this setup. I told you it was short and sweet, and these are going to be my trackers for both my sleep and my weight. I have been doing a sleep and weight tracker every day in the summer, and the sleep tracker in particular, I get that data from wearing my Fitbit. I have a Fitbit Versa 2, I believe it is. I've had it for a few years now, and I do like tracking my sleep scores and tracking the time that I sleep, and really kind of enjoying the analysis of how it might have been a good night's sleep or a fair night's sleep or a great night's sleep, which are the words that the Fitbit app uses. But actually, if I haven't slept that well, it does also come up with that, and sometimes I might sleep for longer but not get a great sleep score, and that would usually be because I've had either caffeine or alcohol the night before, and so therefore have not had the best night's sleep. So on the y-axis, which you can see me filling in there with the pink Staedtler fine liner, I'm just marking out the scores. I normally get between the 70 and 80 on a sleep score, which I know is that's fair to good sleep, which I'm very, very pleased about. I never really go above 90, and I don't normally fall below 72. So I've got those in 2s, and then the hours sleeping, I've put 9 to 5 down the kind of Z-axis, if you will, on the other side, just to track the hours of sleep that I actually have, and then all of the dates along the bottom. I did have to split this tracker into 2, and although I could have twisted the page, I actually don't mind having it split up, because I've had it split up by weeks in my summer journal. I've then also put down a little summary for average sleep and average hours and best and worst night. Now's the time to skip if you don't want to see me set up the weight tracker. The weight tracker is very similar to the sleep tracker. It's just a 2 axes though, the X and the Y, and split into 2 calendars as before. I won't actually label the y-axis with which will have the weights, my weight on there, until closer to the time, because I want to keep it realistic, and I don't want to set myself too much of a unrealistic goal, essentially, for my weight. So I do want to track my weight at the start and my weight at the end of the month too, and then if there's any difference, and regardless of what the difference is, I will still write it down and keep myself accountable. So there we go, that's it. A very simple start to the month, not very decorative. I don't normally go to, well, I have in the past, but this time I just want to keep things nice and simple. There's me smudging some writing as normal. Thankfully the Staedtler fine liners don't smudge so much, which is quite nice. But yeah, so once I've rubbed everything out using my lovely rubber from the Tate Gallery, there's me checking the ink, I will just do a little flip through. So there's the calendar and the trackers, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.